It's your man Uncle O, the Untold interview with me. It's the full joint right now. Check it out.
We got Uncle O, legendary Uncle O.
Yeah.
On the Untold interview.
Yeah.
Welcome, good brother.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I mean, what y'all don't know is he probably edited it all out, but behind the scenes, he was plausible to the 5th degree.
Listen,
just let you know, Jay, you crazy with it.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be civilized,
right,
man.
Right.
This pause game,
yeah.
I blame Mace and Cameron.
No, don't blame them. This has been going on long before that. But what happened was they revived it, and I'm happy they did. Because people were saying all kind of crazy stuff when they talked to me, and I'm happy they revived it, and I can hold people accountable for the plausible things they say.
Now, are we playing the pause game on this particular interview?
Listen, I'm not, let's just interview, and however this go.
However it go,
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, you're from Philadelphia.
Yes, I am.
What part of Philly?
So, I was one of those people who was born and raised everywhere. Okay. So, to begin, I was born up Germantown, Queen Lane. I lived in Queen Lane.
Ah.
Yeah, 301 West Queen Lane in the projects.
Okay.
I'm literally from the projects. The high rises are gone now, but
right.
I'm literally from the projects. 301 West Queen Lane. I went to Pickett Middle School, John B. Kelly Elementary School, and then I went to Roxborough because I moved from there. My mom moved us to 26 and Allegheny, off Allegheny on Banbury Street. So shout out to Dow Schuler. I lived around the corner from Dow Schuler.
That's dope.
On Banbury Street.
Straight Germantown guy.
Yeah. From until I was about 13. And then I moved to North Philly. Okay. And then I moved from North Philly to East Falls with my grandma.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So why did you move there?
I was under my mom's roof. So whenever she moved, I moved. I was a young buck.
So it wasn't like a transition where you had to leave moms and stuff like that and go with...
Well, no, it was, I started going, so before I left Pickett, I had chosen Roxborough as a high school to go to.
Okay.
And then when we moved to North Philly, the next high school would have been Gratz.
Right.
My mom didn't want me to go to Gratz, she wanted me to go to Roxborough, so I lived with my grandmom to go to Roxborough.
North Philly, now what year was that?
Shit, we moved to North Philly when I was 13, so you're thinking maybe, I don't know. When I was 13, I'm trying to think, 12, 13.
Now, what was that like in the 80s, 70s?
82, maybe, 82.
Okay.
82.
I was born 2 years later.
82, 83, yeah.
Now, at that time, how was North Philadelphia?
It wasn't like it was more family oriented back then. It was a lot of family, a lot of the people that lived in the area were family. We knew everybody. You can go on the street and box. Like we would box on the street, you know what I mean? And box other streets that were near us. Like I lived on 26th Street, and in between it was Banbury and Stillman. Okay. And then 25th Street. So Banbury and Stillman Street was his own neighborhood. And then when you get to 25th Street, which was right nearby, that was his own neighborhood from 25th Street down to 24th. So we were rivals with everything past 25th Street, kinda. You know what I mean?
Now at that time, obviously it was more morals and respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People cared about how the neighborhood looked, how they treated people.
Right, yeah.
How did you navigate, in North Philadelphia at that age and growing up?
Just living, man. You could live, you know what I mean? Like the kids can't live how we lived back then. Right. Because people weren't shooting. You would get, there were guns, but that wasn't the first line of defense. Now it's the first line of defense. It's to pull a gun so the kids can't live how they lived when we were young boys.
Right. Now, what's some of the music that you listened to growing up?
Mm-hmm. What was some of the music?
Yeah.
Oh, I listened to, it was all hip hop. When hip hop started when hip hop hit radio in '78, it was all hip hop for me. It was Sugar Hill Gang, Run DMC. In '86, Rakim came to the game. Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie. That was hip hop for me.
Did you listen to what's that, African Bambaataa and
A little bit. I was more, you know, that was more for Africa Bambaataa was more for the people who were to what I say earthy, right? And you know, and conscious of Africa and all of that. Not that it was bad, it was great.
Right.
It just wasn't what I was interested in. I was more so people a little older than me loved Africa Bambaataa. I never got into that music, you know what I mean?
Who's some of the people from Philly you listen to?
Back then?
Yeah.
Man, I was running with, shout out to Lightning Rich was in the area. Lightning Rich lived in North Philly, DJing on the streets in North Philly, Cash Money, Marvelous. You know, I'm from that generation, which is crazy because I love all of the hip hop. So, but I'm from that generation. So I listen to Cash, I listen to Steady B, Cool C, you know, Schoolie D. Yeah, can't forget Schoolie D. 3 Times Dope, EST. You know what I mean? You know, I even Miz, when Miz was with Freshco, who was from New York. You know, you got to give. There's a lot of MCs that came from Philly back in that time. And then you transition to the 90s, of course.
Right.
And then there was, you know, the scene a little bit in the 90s.
Who was the first female rapper in Philadelphia?
Who was the first female rapper in Philadelphia? Shit, you caught me off guard with that one. But I'm going to say my favorite first female rapper in Philadelphia, Bahamadia.
Listen,
Yeah.
I had a debate with someone, and they said that Bahamadia was the second of LadyB.
Well, yeah, but LadyB was on you understood LadyB more. So let's go back and pay homage to LadyB.
Right.
All right, because LadyB is the reason we listen to hip hop. LadyB was on AM radio. Okay, I don't know LadyB as the rapper. I know LadyB for breaking ground on hip hop in the city. So shout out to LadyB for breaking ground on hip hop in the region and fighting for hip hop to have more of a standing in the region. LadyB don't get the respect she deserves, but LadyB, if you listen to hip hop, I mean not just here, but all over, everywhere. It was people like LadyB fighting for hip hop to be heard on mainstream radio, and if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't be where it is. To be totally honest, LadyB should never be broke. You understand? For anybody doing hip hop, for all the artists, for the Jay-Z's, for anybody that see this video, LadyB should never be broke because she's the reason you do and are paid the way you're paid. And even in the city, they should make sure LadyB always has a check.
I agree. Now, is it because how music transitioned throughout the years that they kind of like forget that?
No, because people don't pay the proper respects to our forefathers and mothers. Like when they say forefathers, they forget there was mothers, like women that paved the way. Like let's give it to the women that paved the way. LadyB, like yeah, hip hop is what it is, right? Shout out to the Bronx. Hip hop is what it is. But LadyB is the reason you were able to hear it here. Like people here. LadyB is the reason people here want to rap. Like let's pay the utmost respect to LadyB for what she was able to. I know I listened to her on AM radio. It was WDAS AM. I listened to her there, you know, when the signal was a little bit, you know. It was LadyB that gave us that. So thank you, LadyB. LadyB is the reason I got to be on radio.
Oh, that's dope.
Because she paved the way, and I'm not saying that she hired me. I'm saying LadyB being on radio for hip hop is the reason I'm able to be who I am, or what you call. I'm not really a legend. I don't like calling. Sorry, I mean the mic's here, but I don't like calling myself a legend. You know, I call myself a veteran because the legends are LadyB. The legends are Patty Jackson. The legends are the Golden Boys, the Kobe Coles, the Cosmic Kevs. Those people are legends. I spent some time on the radio. I think I'm a veteran for being on radio, but I don't like to call myself a legend. Although I do put that in my Instagram bio. This the Philly radio legend. Yeah, I'm gonna put that there. People call me that, but I'm being respectful to the legends for real. There's some real legends that done it. Yeah, I've done it too, but I haven't done it to the degree of which a LadyB has.
Now, from your experience and your expertise in hip hop itself, you've seen every era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like this era changed for the worse, or is it beneficial to the artist now?
Let me say this. It's beneficial to everybody.
Right.
Right? Because you're here doing this interview because it still exists. Right? It's not what people want to, it's not what, you got to be mindful. People my age got to be mindful that we don't become your parents. And what I mean by don't become your parents, remember when your mom used to say, turn off that hip hop, bebop? She didn't understand it. And now you're turning into that. You don't understand what it is that these youngins do or what they're going through, right? But don't disrespect it because you're still able to eat because it exists. Because radio still plays, because Instagram still entertain that music, this generation, you're still able to live, you're still able to do a video, I'm still able to sit here and interview because of the music still existing. They're keeping it alive, whether you like it or not. Our parents didn't like our music either, but it existed whether they liked it or not, right? And these youngins are going to exist whether we like it or not. What we need to do is learn to embrace the youngins, pull them in, mentor them, and then help them push the narrative. But is it a little misguided because they don't know who you are? If they don't know who you are, some of it's their fault, some of it's our fault by not keeping it relevant. I
agree. So what made you want to get into radio?
I didn't. That's the funny part. Like what people don't know is I'm an artist. I'm a rapper myself.
So we're not gonna skip that. So let's trickle back to rapping.
Right.
What was your rap name?
So I had a few different names. I was going through an identity crisis. Okay. So I didn't know what to call myself. Right. So I rapped. I cursed a lot. So my rap name started off as Bad Language, and then I emerged from Bad Language to Emerge.
What?
Yeah, so my name was, so as you grow, as you evolve, you emerge from one thing to the next thing, and I started calling myself Emerge.
Okay, I get that. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Like that.
So people, it's tatted on my arm, Emerge. So people.
Now, what age was that when you started?
I was in my young 20s. When I started calling myself Emerge. But I was on the Rap Underground. So back when I was rapping, it was the Rap Underground North. It was Tab Edwards. No, it was Tab. Was it Tab? I forget what Tab last name was. It was Kenny Edwards who did the Rap Underground North. It was the Street Buzz magazine. I was on the underground circuit with 100X. It was me and a female. Shout out to Elena. It was me and Elena on the underground. Her name was ASG, which was just initials for her name. But it was the 100X, it was Ram Squad, it was Gilly, it was I said Ram Squad, it was Divine Beings, it was Divine Beings, it was Task Force, it was a ton of people. It was the Bahamadia, it was Ruggedness and Mad Drama. So I remember Rug was with Mad Drama, so Ruggedness and Mad Drama.
Yeah.
So it was the Roots. It was when they were the Square Roots at the time. So back in the day, the Roots were called the Square Roots. They were in the underground circuit. You got a question? I see.
I wanted to ask, was you part of the Pico era? With a rapper?
Yeah. It was the backpacking and Pico. It was. Yeah, I was a part of that era, but I didn't. I was always different.
Okay.
I didn't dress like them. I didn't want to be them. I got something from Kwame. Shout out to Kwame. Kwame said in one of his songs, it was called "One of the Big Boys." I didn't want to be one of the big boys.
Gotcha.
So when we went on the underground circuit, what everyone was doing, I didn't want to be that. So I did my own thing, spoke my own slang, was in my own gang. That's it. That's what Kwame said. Do your own thing, speak your own slang, be in your own gang. Shout out to Kwame.
Now, being amongst your peers and everything, do you remember, like your first rap that you wrote?
No, I don't remember the first rap. Because I was writing all kind of foolishness. I didn't know what the hell I was writing. No, I don't even remember any of that now. I'm 54 now, so I don't remember none of that.
Have you been in the studio record stuff or?
Have I been recently or just?
No, back then.
Yeah. But I wouldn't go. Shout out to I can't do this without mentioning my producer, Supreme. Shout out to Supreme. All right, shout out to Preem. Preem produced all of my stuff back in the day. Before I met Miz, DJ Miz produced a couple of tracks for me, and then Hot Runner. Shout out to Hot Runner who produced some tracks for me back in the day as well.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now why'd you stop?
I didn't. Who said I stopped?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. I put out an album in 2007. It was called the Uncle O Allstars. You can still find that, and it was during the time where Khaled was just starting, and I was doing my Khaled. Okay, so I got on that album. I got Rampage, Method Man, PD, Free. I had Freeway, but Jay didn't clear it, so I went to go get it cleared. And the reason Jay didn't clear the record because it was right when they broke up, and the Freeway was talking about that. Freeway gave me a record where they were talking about the breakup of Rockefeller.
Oh.
So Jay cleared because Jay was running Def Jam at the time.
Okay.
And he cleared every record except for that one.
So you was our DJ Khaled.
I was Philly's DJ Khaled, but people didn't, the city didn't support. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Cosmic Kev because he would play some of the records from that album. But the city didn't really support it like that. But I did very well, to be totally honest. I will not tell you what I did because then people will be counting my pockets. But yeah, I did very well with that. So shout out to my guy, Ron. Ron's a white guy from California.
Okay.
Who helped me get that deal. Shout out to Ron, who lived in Los Gatos, California. Shout out to Ron. Ron helped me get that album. And he helped me get the distribution for that.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Now, was you one of the artists where you was looking for a record deal?
Of course, yeah, but I started to understand business. I didn't need a record deal to succeed, which was why I was able to create the Uncle O Allstars. E. Ness is on that project as well. Got 2 songs from E. Ness on there, 2 songs from Gilly on there. That the song Gilly had, the Gilly the Kid, that joint.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that.
on that album. A lot of songs on that album that people didn't know it was on that album. Or know where it came from. DC's hard as hell. Pause. Just let you know. You know what I'm saying? Pause. My ass is on fire in this seat right now. My legs are numb right now. You hear me? You can call me out of the interview and then put no cushions on the seat.
Hold up.
No, you good. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I can't even feel my legs no more. We good. Sheesh.
When and why did you get into the radio game?
So I was going to the radio station to try to get my music played, of course.
Okay.
They had hometown jams and all that.
Uh-huh.
So Mikey Dread and Pooch Man was on the air at the time. And I was going to trying to get my records played. But I was smart. So I'm like, I'm trying to get my records played, but I'm going to get to know these guys and become friends with them. And I did become friends with them by helping them get guest DJs on the radio. So remember, they used to try to get guest DJs.
Right.
So I helped them get guest DJs on the air. So I would just bring kids from the neighborhood up, pack them in my van, and take them up to the radio station. And then from that, I started hanging out with them dudes at the clubs. So so the radio thing, I guess we can transition into that.
Right.
Yeah. So how I got onto the radio was I was up there trying to play my music, and one day we were going to the club. Mikey and Pooch said, "Yo, we're going to the club tonight. Everybody meet." Actually, we were going to the Adams Mark because AI was having parties at the Adams Mark.
Okay.
So they say, so AI would come by the station. Hey, y'all want to go to? I'm having parties, so pull up. So I would go there, and then we go to the club. So I'm hanging out at the clubs. But I was late getting there one day. They're like, "Damn, you supposed to walk in with us? What the hell happened? Where the hell were you?" I'm like, "Man, I was home watching Martin."
Hey, that's a good excuse.
Yeah, I'm like, "Man, I'm watching Martin." It was the episode with Mr. Otis. And they was like, "Oh, Mr. Otis." I'm like, "Yeah." And I started doing the voice, and they cracked up. They was like, "Oh, that's hilarious. You sound just like him." And they was like, let me hear that again. Boom. They said, you should call up here and do the voice, play old uncle. So I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem. So I call up, I do the voice of one day. They laughing, people like it. So we still doing it. Mike and Pooch like, yo, you should come up here and come up here on the radio station and do it every day. I'm like, nah, I got a job. I can't come hang out with you niggas. I got a job. I can't come up here. You know what I mean? So I started going up there once a week, turned to twice a week, turned to every day. And then I remember Coca came to me one day. Shout out to Coca Lonnie. Coca was on air. You probably see. I'm schooling. You see, y'all forgot about some of our heroes.
Yeah, listen, that did go over my head.
Pause. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, Coca said, "Hey, Uncle O, we do this thing called perceptuals."
Okay.
And so let me get to how I became Uncle O and not Mr. Otis. So Martin owns the rights to Mr. Otis, and I didn't want to get sued for calling myself Mr. Otis. So I changed the name from Mr. Otis just to Uncle O. So it was Uncle Otis at first. Then I'm like, no, I'm dropping the Otis and I'm gonna just be O. And here's the funny thing. Martin was passing through the area one day and he heard me and he called in. So he was like, hey, who's doing that voice? Who's doing the Mr. Otis voice? And I'm like, shit, I'm cooked. And he's like, who's doing the Mr. Otis voice? I'm like, yeah, that's me. He said, man, if I wasn't in my car, I would have thought that was me up there. You sound just like me. Keep going. And he said, why are you calling yourself Uncle O? Why not Mr. Otis? I said, I didn't want to get sued. He said, no, I own the name. You could rock with the name. But Uncle O was already cooking.
It's already there.
Yeah, so I'm like, nah, I'm going to keep going with Uncle O.
So you Uncle O now.
Yeah.
Now, did you get your own little segment after that?
No, I was on, Mike and Pooch was incorporating me on the show.
Okay.
So fast forward again to where Coca came to me. He's like, hey, we do this thing called perceptuals. And the perceptuals is basically people, they call people and say, who's your favorite radio personality? And people were saying, Uncle O. And she said, you're trending higher than everyone else. You can ask for whatever you want when they come to you to give you a contract. Ask for whatever you want, they're going to give it to you. Pause. Because she was wild for that back then. She was wild for the ask for what you want and you can get it. It's pause. Oh, nasty, Coca. But
that's nasty work right there.
But yeah, so and exactly what she said was going to happen happened, and I asked for what I wanted, and I got exactly what I was asking for. Pause. That's crazy. That's crazy. Say it. That was crazy. That's right crazy. There. Yeah.
Now listen. At that time, did you know how much you deserved, for your talent?
No, I didn't. But I knew because Coca told me to ask for what I wanted. I actually turned down the first offer, and then because I said I'm making that already. Why would I take that offer?
Right.
And then they made me another offer, and I accepted.
Now, at that time, was that a lot of money?
Yeah, that was a ton of money with the clubs, the appearance fees, the endorsements. That was a ton of money. Yeah.
Now,
you got to understand, we were in the clubs 4 days a week at the time. So yeah, I ain't gonna tell you what we was coming home with. I don't want y'all out here trying to rob the radio personality. Yeah.
Now, when you're in that era, at that time, was it important to have a radio personality versus DJs, or did that work hand in hand?
Oh, it worked hand in hand because Cosmic had his show on our time slot.
Okay.
And Cosmic was his own entity even in that time slot because he had his own show. He had the Come Up show. So Cosmic was on 8 p.m. every night in our time slot mixing for about 45 minutes. And Cosmic was his own entity. But so yeah, you didn't have to have the DJ, but you wanted to have the DJ. Honestly, got true, yeah, we needed Cosmic's mix. Cosmic's mix to our show was extremely important. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that it wasn't important to have a DJ, yeah.
Powerhouse. Mm-hmm. When did that generate, and what was like the first show?
Man, shit, Powerhouse was long before me. So you're talking.
Right. No, in your era.
And it was every October, last Friday, October, Powerhouse generated. I started in like 2000, actually 1990, end of 98, 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Powerhouse was always, Powerhouse was a holiday.
It was.
You know what I mean?
It was.
You would go get. It was great for the economy. You had to go get an outfit. You get your outfit. You go. People were waiting for Powerhouse like it was Easter.
Right.
You get your outfit. You get whatever you were wearing. You get fly for whoever's on the show. It didn't matter. Powerhouse sold out every year.
Every single year, man.
You remember the one time there was Jay-Z twice. I don't know if you remember that. Jay-Z had two shows on Friday and a Saturday.
Right. That's when he dropped the Hard Knock Life album.
Right.
And then he dropped, what else? What's the one that he was like, it's like a grayish one. Not Big Pimpin', the one with Mack.
I know what you're talking about.
What's that, volume
La Familia? La Familia?
No. What's that, volume 3? That was volume 3.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Volume 3, I think he came back to Philly.
He said, don't look at the camera. OPS, old people shit, I don't remember. Yeah.
So now you on the radio, did you experience the high fame of it? Like when y'all in the street?
We were a cult. Like people were listening to us and playing their video games. People would call us playing PlayStation or Xbox, and they were smoking some weed.
Right.
There was constantly that people called us. I'm like, we were like, what y'all doing? Oh, I'm smoking the weed, listening to y'all. Radio was important to how people move. There was no social media. There was no Instagram. There was no Facebook. There was no MySpace. There was none of that at the time. And the only thing that was popular at the time was like Black Planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there wasn't none of that stuff when we started radio. So
and back then y'all didn't have the video.
Right.
I believe at that time it was only like Urban Expression on Channel 48.
Right. Yep.
So a lot of y'all
shout out to Shelly Shell and all the Urban Expression
Keep
team.
From Up the Block.
Yep.
A lot of y'all segments actually came from people who actually had to tune in at a specific time.
Yeah, we called it appointment listening. So we'd tell you what time at this time we got karaoke Monday.
Right.
At this time it's Kiss My Ass Wednesday or whatever we were doing. Kiss My Ass Wednesday is funny because I'll tell you a story one time about how that started. But yeah, we had all those features going on, but they were appointment. We'd tell people what time it's going to happen. People have gotten away from that. So podcasts currently are free for all. So people got away from telling people what time certain things are going to happen on their shows. So
and also, you guys did have a segment where people can call up. You know what I'm saying? And they could request a song. Right.
That wasn't even a segment. That was just regular
stuff.
That's how we knew what people wanted to hear. People would call in and request it. Call in and tell us what you want to hear. We're gonna get that on.
Now, do you feel like once it started becoming in the early 2000s that kind of shift, like people were getting away from what they were traditionally doing, and things were evolving. And so, with radio, you had to evolve with it. I think the biggest problem with radio right now is the people in charge aren't evolving. You know what I mean? It's the people in charge who are running the show with the old school mindset. They have 8-track and cassette tape mindsets. Right.
And the game has gone digital.
Right.
And they can't see that. So it's I talk to some of the programmers sometime, and I'm baffled about what they think. They think that radio, no disrespect to radio, because people still need radio to play their music. They don't need just that anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? You still need radio to get your plays, but you don't just need radio to get your plays. You know what I mean?
Now, how important is radio today?
I still think radio is important. It's the drive, and I don't think it's the drive. Okay. I think it's a drive. I think it's one of the many things you need out here if you're trying to be successful and get your stuff heard. I just don't want people to think that they have to rely on radio to break. Radio isn't breaking songs anymore. They're playing whatever the labels want them to play, and that's it. There's no more hometown. There's no more. The only way you get played is if you get on the Come Up Show. You know what I mean? Or Diamond play you, or DJ RL play your music, or Doc B plays the music, or whoever else at Radio 1 play the music. Even Radio 1 don't even have a current station. It's old school or throwback.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Now, while you were a radio personality at that time, did you go through a period in your life where you was like, yo, I'm just gonna get this up?
I saw the transition.
Okay.
I saw it becoming more corporate. And the passion, it wasn't fun. It wasn't as fun as it was. So the passion for doing it changed because of politics. You know, it became political. And so it wasn't what I wanted it to be at the time when I first started. You know what I mean? So yeah, the politics of radio changed. And so when that changed, I never wanted to actually stop doing it, but I wanted to put myself in position to do things on my own and not depend on radio.
Now, you hit the streets a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so when you was out in the community, you know, like, did you find like your niche at that time, like far as being directly with the people? I
felt like I was what people wanted, right? I wasn't afraid to be in no neighborhood. I went everywhere. I'm the guy from the neighborhood.
Right.
Like, I think people were championing that. Hey, he's from the neighborhood. He understands us. I was going to areas people were afraid to go to. You know what I mean? I would pull up in the projects. I would pull up in Richard Allen with the big Power 99 truck. And they'd be like, oh, Uncle O's here. They knew when I was out there, but I got that from Q Deezy. Because Q Deezy used to go out on the street. And I said, I'm going to be what Q Deezy was during the day at night. But I wasn't afraid to go anywhere. Q was from Germantown. Q wasn't afraid to go anywhere. So I'm like, that's what I got to be for this night show. And, I honed in on that skill and owned it.
Now, being a radio personality, it comes with a certain type of pressure. Mm-hmm. Because you got people that's like, oh, man, I know you, man. You know I do music and things like that. Can you play my stuff or get somebody to play my stuff? Did you ever experience that? All
the time, but people don't understand it. But I didn't fault them. I educated them.
Okay.
People thought we played the music. We did, but we weren't responsible for what got played. And so radio personalities aren't in charge of what gets played on the radio. You want to be in the mix show. So I'm giving a gem right now. Write this down. You want to go to the DJ and talk to the DJs and be what and link with the DJs to get your music played. Because you want to get in the mix show, right? Once you pop in the mix show, then you may pop here. Here's a story I'm gonna tell. But Meek tell this story all the time, but Meek don't always tell the truth. Meek, you never tell this whole story, Meek. So let me tell this story. Meek, tell this story, man, the right way. So shout out to Meek. So Meek one time came to the station, and there was white people in the building, and it was Meek and all of them dudes, O'Malley, all of them, and they were scaring the white folks. The white dude came in like, hey, it's a bunch of dudes in the hallway. So I go out in the hall with it's Meek and them. Meek's like, yo, Uncle O, what up? I'm just trying to get my music played. And I'm like, Meek, this ain't how you do it. I said, you scaring the white folk. This ain't how you do it. Y'all gotta leave. I'm gonna walk y'all back out. I'm gonna tell you how to do it, but this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't how you said, no, Meek's like, I don't mean no harm. Oh, I'm just trying to get my music played. I'm like, Meek, I understand that. I got you. This the part Meek don't tell. Meek always tell that I threw him out. And I did, but I gave him Cosmic Kev's info first. So Meek don't always tell the story the right way. He always like, yo, Uncle O threw me out of this joint. I did, Meek. But tell the truth, I gave you Cosmic's number. Meek's my guy, by the way, so shout out to Meek.
Right. Shouts to Meek. So speaking of Kev, right?
Yeah.
Kev catch a lot of flack.
Yeah.
Throughout the years, it's people that say, hey, man, you play this, you don't play that. What's your take on that?
There's one DJ in the city, okay? And I know that ain't nobody gonna care. You know, we can curse on this show?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't give a shit, right? So I know people don't care. But here's the important thing, it's one DJ playing all the people from the street. There's 3 million of you motherfuckers, okay? There's one DJ and 3 million of you motherfuckers. Less than 1% of you motherfuckers are any good, okay? Less than 1%. Now you got, everybody thinks they the hottest shit in the world. Less than 1% of you motherfuckers are actually good that bring the music up. Let's be real. Now, you know, a lot of people ain't gonna be real with themselves because they got homies that want them to make it, and the homie ain't telling them this shit is garbage. And I'm leaving the R out intentionally. A lot of people won't tell them that this shit you got is garbage. You know what I'm saying? And so they go thinking they're the hottest shit in the world, and they think they're owed a play because they're from here. You aren't owed shit from here you didn't work for. I'm just being real. You aren't owed anything. If you didn't work for it, nobody owes you nothing. And understand, I'm gonna look at the camera for this one. Understand that if nobody's gonna give you anything, you're gonna have to work for everything you want. And if you out here putting the work in the street, Cosmic's gonna see you. He's gonna have to. He's paying attention. He's gonna see you. And Cosmic's advocating for you at the radio station. Yo, this guy is hot. This guy is hot. So people are like, oh, Cosmic making one person hot at a time. That's all you can do. We can't make everybody hot. He can play during a come-up show 50 people. He's got one slot that he can play songs. So you got an hour, right, that you're trying to mix in every single record, every single freestyle. You're trying to mix in everything, and the boss is saying there's the A-list songs you gotta play. This is what people don't know. The A-list songs Kev's gotta play. Kev, I don't care what you do, but you gotta sprinkle in Sexy Red. You gotta sprinkle in Cardi B. You gotta sprinkle in Drake, Kendrick Lamar. These are the top songs that's playing. So in that hour, make sure you play these songs along with all the other stuff you're playing, okay? One DJ, 3 million artists want one DJ to play everybody's music. It's not gonna happen. Be realistic, be honest. Go out here and buzz yourself. Buzz in other cities. You don't even need a Cosmic Kev nowadays. You can go buzz yourself, spend some money on yourself. People won't spend money on themselves. They won't invest in themselves. They're waiting for somebody to invest in them. Go invest in yourself. Get a camera. Shoot your own videos. Dude, you know who shoot the videos for me and Mac's podcast?
Who that?
My son does. Okay? So I brought my son along because I bought my own cameras. He bought a camera. And so now I hired my son to do all of our podcast stuff. Okay? The joint with Uncle O and Charlie Mack is done by my son. You see it right there. The joint with Uncle O and Charlie Mack. My son is shooting that. But I invested in all the cameras, all the microphones, and learn how to use every single thing. So whatever you want to do, you can do it, but you're going to have to work your ass off for it. And stop blaming the one DJ in your city, the one DJ that's on the radio with bosses, the one DJ. Stop blaming the one DJ for why you can't get played. You're probably not that good, first and foremost, and you're not putting the work in where people want to hear your shit. You know, if the only people want to hear your shit is the people on your block, then you ain't doing enough work.
Do you feel like the artists feel that you guys could have and can do more?
How? If there's a program director, do you know that there's a program director? There's a person there's people in front of me. I have a job to do. There's people in front of me. There's a program director. There's a music director. There's an assistant program director. And they play the music. They put the music together long before I get there. The music's already put together. Long before Kev gets there, the music's already put together. You need to learn who they are. And then you need to try to have music meetings. I don't know if they changed this. I'm giving y'all a gem, but they usually have music meetings on Wednesdays. Okay. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays sometimes. So you need to try to get in the music meeting when the labels are there. When the labels send their reps to the radio station to try to talk to the program directors and the music directors and the APDs to get their music played. You need to do the same thing. But this is stuff you need. You don't even need that anymore. You can blow up your song. You can boost your song. You can spend $50. Did I lose something?
Yeah, the little piece right there.
Oh, the little.
Keep
okay.
going.
All right. You can boost your post with your song on it. You can run a commercial at the radio station. Spend $2,000, run a commercial for you shooting a video with your song in it.
So why do the artists feel like Kev is a gatekeeper? Uncle O is a gatekeeper.
No, they never thought Uncle O was a gatekeeper. I always
Well,
no, I never played nobody music. I always told people how to get their music played.
So why do they feel that Kev is a gatekeeper?
Because they don't understand business. They don't do business. They don't understand the business. They're in stuff they don't understand. Imagine you go to work. Imagine you have to go to work and you don't understand the business you're working for. How long you think you're going to be there? Can you blame the boss for why you don't know what you know after they showed you? Or can you blame the boss if you haven't done all your homework? You haven't done your homework. You're fired. That's everywhere. They blame Kev as the gatekeeper, and Kev's not. Kev's got a job to do. You got to understand that Kev's got a job to do. Every DJ in every single city has a job to do. And they have bosses that are saying, what is that? Imagine this, you're on the radio, okay? I'm gonna give you a scenario. I'm on the radio, and you're in your car listening to the radio.
Okay.
And some unknown song comes on at the top of the hour. It's 7 o'clock. The radio ID drops. And right after that, there's some unfamiliar song. And you're in your car. What are you doing?
I'm turning it off.
Okay?
Hands down, I'm turning it off.
I'm turning it off, okay? I don't want to hear it. It ain't my fault people don't know your shit, okay? So if people turn away, now I go look at the ratings because they got these little things called people meters that read what you're listening to, and if you're not listening to me, you've turned to where? Where they turn to?
The next radio station.
My competition. Now my ratings are down because I'm playing unfamiliar music. So what am I going to start off the hour with? Kendrick Lamar. Okay? I'm going to start it off with Kendrick Lamar. I'm going to go with some Sexy Red. I may play an old school joint, a throwback in that hour. And, and so forth and so on. But people don't understand that. And so they blame Cosmic. Oh, Cosmic's a gatekeeper. He's not a gatekeeper. He's playing what he can play. He's got an hour to do it. It's 3 million of you motherfuckers asking him to do the same thing, and he's got a slot for 10 maybe.
That's a lot of pressure, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So the pressure they put on Cosmic is unfair. You know what I mean? And then they beat up on guys like Kev for not playing the music, saying, oh, he's a gatekeeper. He's not the only game in town. There is other ways to do it. There's social media. You can run a post, you can run an ad right now on social media.
Right.
And people can hear your music. You only need 60 seconds. Social media give you 90 seconds and then for you to boost it. Anything after the 90 seconds, you can't boost the post.
Right.
Why you bugging Kev? You can spend $50 and reach 3,400 people. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. I'm not on Kev's side. You know what I mean? Because Kev's an asshole sometimes. Cosmic's an asshole sometimes, but he has a right to be. People putting a shit ton of pressure on Kev for no reason.
Do you feel like for the artists, they believe that if Kev don't stamp it, it don't count?
I mean, there's maybe some truth to that, right? So because sometimes the labels don't know what's hot. You know, there's people running the labels that aren't in tune with certain shit. But that's not Kev's responsibility to get to him. Again, burn the streets up. Go burn the streets up. What happened to the days of people burning the streets up first? You know what it is? Because it be some dude right in his garage. He just made the joint and he think he belong on the radio. Imagine everybody thinks they belong on the radio.
Right.
Everybody thinks because they make a record, it belongs on the radio. It doesn't. It belongs with you working this stuff out here. Your labels aren't even signing you anymore unless you got a buzz. That's where the labels are, okay? The labels are transitioning from signing the one hot song to, okay, you just need to be buzzing on your own and we'll pick the project up.
Right.
Even the labels. So imagine you got Kev playing your record every day, all right? and you ain't got no buzz in the street. I'm gonna hit you with another gem. How does the record companies know it's being played?
They had to go through SoundScan.
There ain't no SoundScan.
Was it BD?
There's no more BDS. How do the radio know you're being played?
Spotify now.
No. How do they know you're being played?
On the radio?
How do they know you're getting spins? Even on Spotify, how do they know?
You got me there.
Because a lot of people take their music, right? They give it to Kev. They haven't registered the music. You have to register the music, and your music gets a unique code. And the unique code is stamped. It's that when you go to put your record, your song on TuneCore, right. And it gets a unique code,
right.
But it's already been coded. You get that Unicode. It's already been coded by MediaBase. So you want to register your song with MediaBase. Go to MediaBase and register your song with MediaBase. They now own BDS SoundScan.
Got you.
Okay.
Now, for up and coming artists, what is the right process that they should be doing? You know, once they
there is no right process. There's no right. There's no wrong.
Okay.
It's literally you just need to be working your project. You need to boost it on YouTube. Boost it. You know, you got to get that SEO. You know what SEO is?
Sound something.
No, search engine optimization.
Okay.
You want it to show up in the search.
Okay.
When people punch in your name, that's the first thing that they see. Okay. So you need to work on your SEO. So Google get a Google AdSense account. Spend money on your Google AdSense account to get your name popping. Spend money so that it's the first thing they see on YouTube. If you got your Google AdSense account, that's the first thing they see on YouTube. All right. And then you still need to boost your posts on social media. Okay? People are concerned with likes. Who gives a fuck about likes? Yep. If you got 5,200 views, that means you saw it. Do you know that Uncle O and Charlie Mack got a podcast?
Yes.
Somebody sitting with y'all and people don't know that they can't see you. You know? He said yes. And why you know? Social media presence. Because I'm getting the views. I don't give a shit how many likes I get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
People always only got 10 likes, and they only got 10 likes. They take it off the internet.
And they don't check the analytics.
Go look at your insights and see what your insights. See what time that your social media is popping the most.
Right.
And then run your ads during those times. Okay. And then choose your audience. Stop choosing Philadelphia. When you boost your posts, don't choose Philadelphia.
That's 100% correct.
Boost your posts in Houston. Boost your posts in Atlanta. Boost your posts in Florida. Boost your posts in LA. Don't boost your posts in Philadelphia. You aren't buzzing here. You can be buzzing somewhere else. Okay? That's how you do it.
Now, back then, the artists, when they would put out a project, they would pretty much buy their product back. The kind of like confused SoundScan, am I correct? So now the artists are on Spotify, they're on Instagram, and they're using bots.
Yeah, but Spotify knows it, and then they pull your account all the way down, period. And now you can't go back up there. You have to be another name, because they know you're using bots, right? They know what's going on. I see what you're doing. The thing is, you can use all of this stuff to your advantage. Spotify has do you know that when if you're as an artist on Spotify, you're supposed to get an artist page first? You take the Spotify artist page, and then they verify you. They verify you are who you say you are, and they give you the blue check that you are who you say you are. And then before you release the album, they send you stuff so that you can run ads before you release the project.
So you can use them directly.
You can use them directly to run your ads before you release the project. And then if you pop, you go on playlists. I'm a mess your head up. In 2023, I released a song. I'm gonna tell you why I released a song. So I was working with a young artist, and I told her, hey, take this song, because I got a producer. Shout out to my man Agony. Agony's a producer. He produced for Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, a few other people he produced for. So I say, hey, I got this track. I want you to hear this track. My man Agony produced it. He's this person. And sorry, my lips are dry in the Sahara Desert. Hold on.
I knew you don't need that water.
So I tell her, hey, take this song, write something to it. So she hears the song. I'm not catching the vibe from the track. I'm like, what do you mean? I could write, a Grammy-winning producer did this. You can't catch the vibe from this joint? I said, because I'm an artist too. I'm like, I can write a song to that. She said, I can't see you doing that. So I took the song, I took the track, I sent the song to Young Steph and told him what the name of the song was. And said, yo, Steph, the name of the song is Dance On Me. I need you to write a hook to it. Young Steph wrote a hook to it, sent me the song back. I wrote the song, recorded it, put it on Spotify, ran all my ads, ran my posts, everything, and I did over 300,000 streams.
Wow. Now, not to count you.
2023, November 2023 into 2024. So by the time March came around, I had over 300,000 streams.
Now, on the stream level, far as counting that and that equaling to dollars.
Mm-hmm. It don't equal to nothing. It's just the look. Just no money. You want the look. You want to say you sold. You want to push that. You want to, if you get 300,000 streams, I wasn't even trying. I was trying a little bit. I wasn't trying to get 300,000.
Right.
I ran a little bit of ads and then I let it coast.
Okay.
And it did its thing. So
obviously you're running ads. That's the go-to. So these artists that's out here, instead of them using bots, they need to start running ads. Directly.
Spotify's giving you the tool. Instagram's giving you the tool. Facebook's giving you the tool. YouTube's giving you the tool. Stop running bots. You're gonna get caught, and then you lose your whole page. Then they wonder why, my page was hacked. Your page wasn't hacked. It was shut down. Your page got shut down because you using bots.
Eric Allen, what's the affiliation?
My guy. Shout out to EA. EA.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, when EA came home from prison, I was one of the people who embraced him. And he came home from prison, he had Wallow Vision, okay? He had a show called Back to Basics Real Rap TV. He was pushing that. And he said, yo, Uncle O. And then after we meet, EA got that raspy ass voice. Uncle O, I want to talk to Lorraine Ballard Morrow. I'm like, yo, EA, you're not talking to Lorraine Ballard Morrow with that voice. I'm like, what you trying to do? He said, I want to do this, I want to do that. You don't do this, I'm like, nah, EA. Lorraine ain't who you go to for that. I said, we're going to wait. We got to work on some things, and we'll get you to Lorraine Ballard Morrow. Excuse me. Yes, I said, you can't go on Lorraine Ballard Morrow show without, or go talk to Lorraine Ballard Morrow. You can't go to Lorraine Ballard Morrow without talking to her about this or having a correct plan. You need a plan. Tell Lorraine what your plan is. Otherwise, she's going to ignore the hell out of you. So, he figured out his plan. And he still never went to Lorraine because he started doing other things. You know how EA is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go to the affiliation with Charlie Mack.
Charlie Mack's my brother. Yeah, Charlie Mack's my guy.
Charlie Mack. When did you meet Mack?
Man, I met Mack, honestly, 1996. I remember meeting Mack and saying, Mack, yo, I want to, he was managing Task Force at the time.
Okay.
Shout out to my guys, Task Force. I said, Mack, I want to, they were doing a show out Cops Creek Park. I said, Mack, I want to open up for your group. And then he was like, all right, be here at noon. I was there at noon, they didn't go on. I was there like noon, they didn't go on until like 4. But he told me to be there at noon. I was there at noon. When he got there, I was able to open up for Task Force.
That's dope.
That's when I was on my on the rap scene. And then me and Mack touched base again when I was doing radio. And we've been great friends ever since. Yeah.
Mack worked with a lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people in Philadelphia. I believe he was instrumental for Meek Mill career at one point.
I got a song with Meek Mill too.
What?
I got a song with Meek Mill and Jadakiss. Listen, I'm catching them off guard right here.
Oh, You Googling this stuff? Make sure you Google that.
Yeah, Google Uncle O, Meek Mill, Jadakiss. And I'm sorry, Google heard me. All right. Uncle O, Meek Mill, and Jadakiss is called Let's Get It. Let me tell you about this song.
Wow.
So I was working on this song to put out my second project after the Uncle O Allstars.
Okay.
And I had a joint from Game. I had a joint from a few other people. And so I got Meek Mill. So I asked Meek Mill to do the song, and he said, yeah. Max said, I'm gonna make sure he get it done. We going out LA, I'm gonna make sure he get it done. They got the song done. Meek sent the track back to me. And he called me like, yo, I bodied that joint. I'm like, oh, I bet Meek. So I listened to the joint. I'm like, oh shit, he bodied this joint. And then I'm like, so Jadakiss come to the station. I'm like, yo, Kiss, I got a song with Meek. I want you to jump on the song with us. Kiss is like, all right, bet. I chased Kiss for 2 months to get the song. Because Kiss wasn't giving nobody tracks at the time.
Now, is this Baldhead Kiss or Kiss?
This Baldhead Kiss.
All right.
Kiss wasn't giving nobody songs. At the time, he wasn't giving nobody songs. And people were like, yo, Kiss ain't giving nobody songs. So Kiss give me the track. And then I send Kiss, so me and Kiss did a show together in Delaware.
Okay.
With my homie Party King. So we do the show in Delaware. And we on the elevator from the hotel, so I went to pick him up. And Kiss was like, yo, I love that song, man. And then he started doing my verse. And I was like, oh shit. You know, you gotta understand Kiss one of my top 5.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit, Kiss doing my verse. And then he's like, I wanna put that on Champions Head 3. You mind if I put that on Champions Head 3? I said, Kiss, I'm not gonna tell you no. Hell yeah, put that on Champions Head 3. It was track 21 on Champions Head 3.
Dope.
So it's called Let's Get It. And something else on there I can't say, so I'll tell you off camera about something else with that song. Okay. There's somebody else on that song, but I can't say.
Is it another
I can't
artist?
say. I can't say. It's another artist, yes.
Male or female?
I can't say. Nope.
What city?
I'm not saying anything. I'll tell you off the record. I'll tell you.
Off the record. So you and Mac, y'all got a duel.
Yeah.
The John. How did that become and when did it start?
So me and Mac last year around like October. So me and Mac I was talking about Kokalani earlier.
Right.
So imagine how full circle this goes, right? So I'm on Kokalani's live, Mac's on Kokalani's live. Me and Mac, we get off the live. I call Mac. I'm like, Mac, what up, Mac? What you doing? This, that, the third. I said, I'm working on my podcast. It was the Ozone. And he said, I saw that. I love the fucking news. It's hilarious. I'm like, yeah. He said, I said, shit, Mac, we might as well do a podcast together. And then Mac got quiet and he was like, yo, you might be on to something. Let me live with it for a second. So he lived with it, called me back later in the week and was like, I'm with that. What we gonna call it? And I was like, I got the Ozone. He said, but that's the Ozone. He said, no, you keep the Ozone. We gotta do something different because we gotta make it a business. I'm like, yeah. So he said, what's Philly that's without saying Philly? And I'm like, shit, I don't know. And then he said, all right, let me sleep on it. You get back a couple days later. He was thinking, he said, what about John? I'm like, yeah, the John? He said, that's it. The John with Uncle O and Charlie Mack. I said, or the John with Charlie Mack and Uncle O. But Mack, such a humble guy, he doesn't want his name first. He said, this ain't about me. I want it to be about you because I want you to win. So I want your name to go before my name, and it'll be the John with Uncle O and Charlie Mack. So I'm like, you sure, Mac? He's like, yeah. So that's what we did. And he said, you my brother, oh, like, no, seriously, like, Mac don't give everybody his address. I don't give everybody my address.
Right.
Not everybody know where we live, right? Well, I know where Mac live, he know where I live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's so that's how it started. And then we didn't know what lane we were going to go in, so we just started going to get drops.
Okay.
And so we were going to concerts and just get drops from artists. So I had a ton of drops. People thought they were interviews. It was just drops. And then all of a sudden, Max said, I think, we kind of found our niche. Like we're at these concerts, we got access people don't have. People don't have relationships with the artists that we got relationships with. People don't have relationships with artists. I don't have relationships with some of the people Mac have relationships with, the actors, producers, people behind the scene that Mac knows. So Mac was like, that's probably gonna be our niche. We just need to get a backdrop, So the thing is, we didn't not do it. This is where people make mistakes. We didn't not do it because we didn't have everything. We had all the cameras. We didn't have the backdrop. We didn't have the sound figured out. But all that stuff's recorded.
Right.
So we recorded interviews and we're fixing what we see wrong as we go along. You know what I mean? You won't do something because you want to be perfect. And you're not going to be perfect. You just need to do it and then figure out what you need to tweak along the way. And that's what we're doing. We figure out what we need to tweak along the way. The sound gonna be, y'all gonna be watching the Joe on podcast and the sound gonna be jacked up because I'm doing the sound, my son doing the camera, he's figuring out the camera, I'm figuring out the sound, Mac's getting the artist. So it works, but there's still something there for you to see. There's something there for you to watch. So enjoy yourself.
What was one of the first episodes you guys did?
Shit, I don't even remember. Affion Crockett.
Okay.
Me and Mac flew out to LA and shot that at Affion's house.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, the sound's a little jacked up. The picture is what it is. I did all the editing. So, enjoy it. Go watch it. You're going to enjoy the transition with it because you're going to watch us go from bad to great.
Right.
So take this journey with me and Mac.
Right. And when I watched it, the Bow Wow one.
Yeah.
I seen the process.
So that's just the Bow Wow joint is just a promo.
Right.
Like I haven't even dropped that yet. That's not even next.
And that one was clear, man.
Right.
That one was good.
Yeah, it's us learning what we doing wrong. You don't know what you're doing wrong, and sometimes people won't start because they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
But start. This is for anyone out there that's listening. Start.
And I see y'all went from standing up to now y'all sitting down.
Well, that was just that one because we were tired as hell. We went on the Millennium Tour.
Right.
So we did like 4 or 5 dates on the Millennium Tour.
Right.
So we were tired. But there were some chairs there, and then we sat down.
Now, in this new era, it's like millions of podcasts. Why did y'all choose a podcast versus a show?
Because we wanted to own it. So I'm thinking ownership. I don't answer to any, I didn't like radio anymore because it was politics.
Right.
It wasn't fun anymore. Well, it's fun now. I own it. Mac owns it. It's fun because we're the owners, right? So me and Mac still communicate daily about how to make the show better. Mac still communicates with me when he don't like something. I communicate with Mac when I don't like something. And then we tweak that and we make it work. You know what I mean? So there's no ego. I know Mac is a conglomerate compared to me in this business. But Mac knows that I'm a conglomerate. And I know what I know when it comes to the radio side of it and how it should be formatted. So Mac don't get in the way of what I do in that area. And I don't get in the way of what he does in his space. If he's telling me something, I'm listening because I know he know what he's talking about. If I'm telling him something, if he's really fighting for it, he believes in it, I know he knows what he's talking about. And I'll shut up for a second and listen, see what he's talking about. And then he'll do the same for me if it's something he knows I know what I'm talking about.
Last week, you were in a lot of pictures with a famous guy from our city, Will Smith.
Man, shout out to Charlie Mack. That's his guy.
All I seen was both of you. I told you looked like the security guard.
Right. No, I had a game face on, yo. Because you don't know what people up to. Is Will's around?
Right.
Not that I was Will's security. He had his security. But at the end of the day, I'm with him. I'm not charged with his protection, but I'm gonna, if you act foolish with the dude around me, I'm gonna step in because that's what it is.
How was that experience from the beginning to the end?
It was amazing. It was amazing. We went everywhere with Will. It was an honor. Will was so accepting of me and my son, and he already knows Mac, but he was so accepting of me. He knows me through Charlie. He didn't know me personally, but he treated me as if he had known me his whole life. You know what I mean? Like we went out, we was with him every single day he was here. We were with him all day long. We went everywhere Will went, we went. And he treated me and my son with the utmost respect. I love him for that. You know what I mean? He didn't have to. He could have easily said, Charlie, I don't really want this guy around me. You know what I mean? But that didn't happen. Shout out to his team. They loved me and my son. That we were around them. We helped them when they needed help. We weren't in their way. We weren't in Charlie's way. Charlie did his thing. My job was to get content. Me and my son got the content. You know, my job was to interact with Will, interact with the people. You know, we went to the Youth Study Center. Will spoke to the people at the Youth Study Center. So yeah, it was pretty dope.
How many spots did Will? Because he was on like a promo run.
It was every single thing you could do in the city. He got the city, got the key to the city. He got the street named after him. He got the state, gave him a Will Smith Day. Okay, and then he went to the Youth Study Center. We stopped by and seen Jack Frost. We went to
shouts to Jack, man.
The Sixers game. He went to a sneaker store. He did Gillian Wallow show. He did Drink Champs, and we were at every single event.
And then I also seen he was doing, like, people just walked up to him.
He went to Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
He did the Hard Rock Cafe too. Yeah,
I seen that. Now, was you tired?
Man, we were running around so much, man. It's the grind. You know what it is when you. This is what I'm telling the young folks about, just getting out there and doing it. You know, it's the grind. It ain't no money being made doing that. You know, going around with Will. Most people are there being a groupie, right? If they're there, like if some people get a chance to do that, they're being a groupie. I don't care for that. I'm there because I want the content, and I'm genuinely excited to be with Will.
Right. And
I'm genuinely happy that he allowed us to be in his circle like that, you know?
How was Will Smith character? You know what I mean? Was it the Philly guy, or was it the one that we see on television?
It was the Philly guy.
The Philly guy?
It was Will the Philly guy.
Yeah.
Still funny, still enjoying himself. Still, you know, the one thing about Will, you know, even when security didn't want him to touch the people. I remember we left the Hard Rock. Will leaned out of the car, pulled the car up. Paparazzi was there. Will stopped and autographed stuff for paparazzi.
That's dope.
Okay?
That's dope.
When most people were fighting paparazzi, they don't want to talk to paparazzi. Will stopped. He autographed stuff for one of the people that were out there and let paparazzi take their pictures. And then he drove off.
That was a great experience,
yeah.
Man. How many hours you spent with him?
4 days, man.
Wow.
4 days. I don't know, man. From sun up to sundown, basically.
Sun up to sundown.
Basically, yeah. I mean, even 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Yeah, by the time we were done, you know, we were all day. We spent all day. We picked them up from the airport. Me, Mac, and my son picked them up from the airport, and then we dropped them back off to the airport.
Yeah, I seen you at the Clearport.
Yeah, at the Clearport, yeah.
That was kind of dope. I ain't gonna fraud.
Yeah, no, that's right. Not everybody get that chance.
Right,
you know?
right.
But imagine when you greet Will Smith, one of the biggest superstars in the world. You greet him at the airport, at the Clearport, and he gets off and shakes your hand, greets you at the Clearport, okay? On the tarmac, Will Smith greets you. And then you go back to the Clearport with him to put him on the plane, to watch him get on the plane, shake your hand, and boom, thank you for everything. It was great, and he's out.
That's a flex, man. That's a flex. Like,
hey.
I mean,
yeah, you can call me what you want to call me. Don't call me at 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a flex. You can say what you want. Oh, Uncle O on Will Smith nuts. Yup. Pause. I was there. A lot of people wish they had that. Yep, I told
you, man. I was like, dang, man, I'm mad I couldn't go down there, man.
Yeah.
Because it's the experience. Because his body of work throughout the years, man. We ain't just see him in music. We see him
in movies, TV,
everything consistently. Outworking these young cats.
Right now, all day, and not being a jackass. He's not signing autographs. He's stopping to sign autographs. The only reason Will wouldn't stay and do everybody's autographs is because his team is getting them on to the next thing.
Right.
Otherwise, he'd stay and sign every autograph. You know, that is what you got to do. You can't be an asshole. And he's talking to radio, where these new cats won't talk to radio. They act like radio don't exist. I'm not gonna go. I was at Powerhouse and the artist and they were being, because they don't want to answer questions. They don't like what radio's gonna ask them, and so now you don't want to talk to the personalities. Like, you gotta do that.
You got to.
You gotta do that. You gotta stop. You gotta hug, kiss the babies, and keep moving.
Yep. I tell the artists all the time, you need media. You need awareness to your brand. Whatever you got, service or product, you need awareness. You need people to actually interview you versus you just posting videos up on Instagram. That's cool. But you need media, especially when you got a new project coming out and things like that. Let
me tell you something. I'm sorry to cut you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you when they really want media. They want media when they're dying, when their careers are dying. Now you want to go to media. Now you're mad because media won't take you. But when you were here, you were an asshole. You didn't want to do any interviews. When you were making $200,000 a show, you were an asshole. You didn't want to do any interviews. Now you only getting $10,000 a show, and you want media.
Or they turn to a podcaster.
I mean, that's cool too. There's a lot, and listen. There's not enough podcasts. Okay. Let me say that again. People think that because they see everybody doing a podcast. The key is not everybody can do it and be great at it. Okay? But there's not enough. I know that because that's what the podcast companies are telling me. There's not enough. So Mac and I have our own podcast, The Join with Uncle O and Charlie Mack. And then we own The Join Media, where we can sign podcasts. Now, don't go beating up my doors unless you got 5,000 downloads on Spotify. A lot of y'all are doing your videos and not putting it on Spotify. Put it on Spotify, get your downloads up.
Put me on game. You put me on game, and I handled it right then and there, man.
Yep.
I ain't get to 5,000 yet.
That's all right. Keep going. Keep going. Promote it.
Right.
Spend the dollars to promote it. But put your stuff on. If you got a podcast, yeah, YouTube's great. Yeah, all that stuff's great. But put it on Spotify. Okay? Spotify is now spinning the bag to get you popping. Okay? Spotify is now making Spotify video. So people who have certain subscriptions can do Spotify video. They can watch the video of your podcast. So now Spotify comes with video, not just YouTube. All right? So yeah, go ahead. It's not enough podcasts. Do more, you know. And reach out to me if you got 5,000 downloads on your Spotify. Reach out to Uncle O. You can follow me on Instagram at Uncle O Philly. See how I promote that? Bam.
You gave him the plug right there. Now, do you guys use your star power to get these interviews?
It's really there's really no star power. There's people know who we are. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, it's Uncle O. It's Charlie Mack. And most of the time they be like, oh, it's Uncle O. Uncle O, what's up? You know, we're going to do an interview. Even then, they still give us a hard time. Like, we were on the Millennium Tour, and we still didn't get everybody.
Oh, wow.
You know
so
what I mean?
Still face those.
Yeah, you know, it's not usually them most of the time. Like, Trey Songz is my guy. I was trying to get interview with Trey Songz, but he came right in from outside, was running late, had to jump on stage. You know what I mean? But we got Ray J, we got Bow Wow, we got the Yin Yang Twins, we got Sammy, we got Bobby V.
That's a dope lineup.
Yeah, me and Mac got at least a year's worth of content. I don't have to do anything right now. We can drop one a month and use the content from that to run the promo all month.
That's some good game right there.
Yeah.
That's some good, because I know when we started, you know, consistent.
You're dropping too frequent, if you want me to be honest.
Okay.
You're dropping the interviews too frequent. You have way too many interviews. You save some of them shits. All right? You can run once a month. You have enough room to run the content once a month. You can run every 2 weeks, right? But you can still run once a month, and with a little bit of with breaking up the content that you have for that month, because how many hours you got on the interview?
About an hour and a half.
You know how much content you get out of an hour and a half for a month? And then drop the episode? You know how many times you could run the same 4 60-second promos in a month? And then drop your joint at the end of the month? Give it some time to build, run promos all month long, and then boom. By the time you drop, people are ready for it. You're dropping so frequent that people aren't ready for the next thing you drop.
Uncle O just gave me a game, so if y'all stop seeing me post frequently.
No, don't stop posting frequently. Look at all the shit you got and run it again. You know what I mean? Take other clips from all the shit you got, run them again. You know what I mean? Because then now people can go to they can go listen to that. Now you know, and all you want to tag on it is available now. And they'll go watch it. Boom. New episode coming soon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that.
You want to push them back to the previous stuff. You know what I mean?
like that.
You know, during the interview, if you missed it, here's such and such. You know what I mean?
Oh, my last question.
Yeah.
What is one thing no one know about you, but they should?
I'm a family man. I'm all about my family. I'm usually home. I'm a homebody. I don't go out anywhere. I don't party. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care about a whole lot. You know what I mean?
That's saving money. That sounds like a nice savings.
Yeah, I go back to my home every day, chilling. I'm around the neighborhood. All the neighbors don't know me as Uncle O. They know me as Tracy, because that's my real name. So that's what they know. They know that I'm in the neighborhood. I'm a neighborhood guy. I protect not only my family, I protect the neighborhood. If you naggers come up my way, then you don't belong here. I'm looking, why you naggers here? Why you here, nagger? It's like the white folks. Okay? Yeah, what is it? You know, don't act like don't act like you see some people in your hood, you know they don't belong there. You know what I mean? It's funny. Let me tell you something interesting, because we'll look out for us. We'll be looking at us, people that look like us in the neighborhood when they come in, and then white people will be looking at people that look like them. My neighbor said to me one time, and she's a good friend of mine now. She said, I'm not worried about anybody look like you. I'm worried about the people that look like me, because they serial killers. There's more white serial killers than there are black. So don't worry about people that look like you. Worry about the people that look like me. That's who you need to worry about. And they might live next door to you.
Now, as you walking in a Chinese store full of guys that look like you with hoodies on?
I'm good. I'm not afraid of the people that look like me. What am I afraid of people that look like me for? I'm good. I'm not afraid of nothing. Whatever it is going to be, it's going to be. If it happens, it's predestined. I can't stop it anyway.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So why go into the Chinese store worried? You know what I mean? I'm from the projects, my man. You know what I mean? I'm from Queen Lane. I'm from East Falls. Shout out to East Falls. Shout out to Abbotsford. Let me shout some folks out. Shout out to my guy Ski. Shout out to New. Shout out to Muss. Shout out to Cos. Shout out to everybody from my hood. And shout out to my brother Charlie Mack, man. Shout out to my son. His name's TL. You can follow him at T_EL official. Follow him. Shout out to my son Jakai and my daughter Ava and my wife Vanessa. That's it, man. You should be rolling tape, yo.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right, so
Yeah. Look in this direction.
Look in this direction.
For the interview. Right.
I can't.
Yo, because this guy's crazy.
Yo, all right. So you got.
Yo, who mans is this? First and foremost, before this interview start, who mans is this, yo? He foul. Yo, he's saying a lot of crazy shit.
So when I do this,
hey. Go ahead. When you do what? Get him on camera. When you do what? What you doing? Get him on camera. When you do what again? Because you ain't playing this game. Yo, he crazy with it. When you do what?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he used to having these interviews being foul.
Listen.
Yo, go ahead.
Look, when I do this.
Hey.
That.
He double fisted too. He double fisted. He double fisted. It's crazy. Hey, go ahead.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is nasty work. Go ahead.
Keep going with your story.
All right, say less.
That means stop, like yield down because.
Yield down is nasty. Hey. I get it. You want me to pump the brakes?
Yeah, pump the brakes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm about to segue into another question.
All right, got you.
All right, just don't look in the camera.
Hey. I'm not looking in the camera, fam. I can't even look at you. All right. I'm gonna look at the hat. Okay, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Look, all right.
I got you. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. We ready?
We ready. Yeah, we ready.
All right, cool.